What's up, guys? Thomas Mott here. Welcome into the Thomas Mott Show on a Saturday, the day before the Eagles season begins. It's NFL Week 1 Eve here on the Thomas Mott Show, and we're going to give you every single news and note that you need before the start of Eagles Lions coming up at 1 p.m. on Fox tomorrow, which is Sunday. So, a full breakdown, but most notably an injury report. And as you see in the title of this video, Philadelphia way healthier than Detroit. It's kind of almost a bummer to see Detroit so darn injured here in Week 1. You'd hate it that if you were the Detroit Lions fan, even though we're rooting against them, but still a lot of big-time injuries. We're going to break that all down here on the Thomas Mott Show, and of course finish with our, really, let's just call it one big story of the day, one big NFL story of the day. Stay tuned for that at the very end of this video. Okay, before we go ahead and jump into the final injury report and the full news and notes for this game, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Approaching 600 subscribers here on the Thomas Mott Show. I appreciate all the new subs. I'm glad you guys are enjoying my brand new show. If you guys like it, give it a thumbs up. That helps the channel grow, and subscribe down below as well. All right, so we pulled up the Bleeding Green Nation article you see on your screen right now, your final injury report, and Bleeding Green Nation's all over it. Eagles much healthier than the Detroit Lions. The picture of smiling Miles Sanders indicates, yes, Miles Sanders will play on Sunday after basically missing a vast majority of the preseason due to a hamstring injury he suffered in that preseason Week 1 game against the New York Jets. So here we go. Here's the write-up from Bleeding Green Nation. Quote, the Birds' active roster is completely healthy for this game. Miles Sanders, Javon Hargrave, Derek Barnett, and Josiah Scott were all full go on Friday after being listed on the injury report this week. Not a single player was listed with a game status. Great news for Philadelphia. Now, some other interesting things to go ahead and note here. They do announce, of course, that Andre Dillard goes on IR. That happened earlier this week. Here's what they say about Dillard going to IR and who practice squad players that could move up could be. Quote, Dillard to IR means the Eagles still have one open roster spot to fill. In addition to utilizing that vacancy, the Birds can temporarily elevate two practice squad players if they wish. Britton Covey and Davion Taylor might be the top candidates to get bumped up. Covey is probably the Eagles' best punt return option, and Taylor can play special teams while providing a fifth body at linebacker. The Eagles have until 4 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, which is just a couple of minutes from now, to conduct any final roster moves. So we don't know who that will be. My guess is it would be Covey for the punt return situation. I don't think they need Davion Taylor, even though they mentioned, of course, you have some special teams options here as well. So again, it looks good. Again, Dillard, Jaden Graham, Greg Ward on IR, and so those guys weren't going to play anyway. Other than that, everybody is good to go. Of course, Jackson and Ben Toth on the pup list. So again, no issues there for Philadelphia. Here's where it gets tricky. Detroit is beat up. And again, you feel bad for them. It's Week 1. You wish these guys weren't all injured. You wish you could play a full-strength Detroit Lions team, but they are missing a lot of players here. And here's the write-up from BGN. Quote, Detroit is missing old friend Big V as their normal starting right guard. They're also going to be without his backup, Tommy Kramer. These absences likely leave the Lions with Logan Sternberg, making his first NFL start. Sternberg's a 2020 Day 3 pick, with just 4 career offensive snaps to his name. What does that tell you? This defensive line in Philadelphia should absolutely feast on the Detroit Lions. Also, shout out to Big V, Halapulviati, did I say that right? Halapulviati Vaitai, the starting left tackle in the Super Bowl for Philadelphia Detroit Lions, now, in case you didn't know. So the Eagles defense should 100% go ahead and work. It also says Pro Bowl caliber center Frank Ragnow is questionable after missing practice on Thursday and being limited on Wednesday and Friday. Ragnow said he is cautiously optimistic about his playing chances. Even if he suits up, it's clear he's less than 100%. So this tells you the Eagles defensive line, for all the new improvements and all the new faces, and Hassan Reddick and Josh Sweat and Brandon Grant coming back and Jordan Davis and Fletcher Cox and Javon Hargrave, they should have 5-6 sacks this game. Jared Goff should run for his life. And the hope now, with the injuries, DeAndre Swift is not going to run all over you, because Swift is really, really good and is probably the one big weapon that scares me the most from the Detroit Lions in terms of running the football. So there's your full overall list of injured players for the Detroit Lions. They are going to be without basically their entire, not their entire, but a vast majority of their starting offensive line, at least 2 of them most likely, depending on what Ragnow is going to go ahead and do, which again, leaves no excuse for Philadelphia. I get it, you start slow because it is Week 1, but you should not lose this football game. Philadelphia, if you lose this game, the amount of drama we are going to have next week on this show and throughout Philadelphia sports media, can you imagine the local radio station calling stuff? It's going to be too much to handle. Don't do this, guys. Win this football game. There should be no excuses. Don't let Amon-Ra St. Brown, get in your head. Don't let DeAndre Swift run wild. Don't let Jared Goff look like a Super Bowl, caliber quarterback win this football game. The Detroit Lions are very, very injured. I'm confident. I think you guys are as well. If you guys are pumped for this, give this video a thumbs up. Some funny injury news here. You might have seen this on Twitter, you might have not. There's a bee in Philadelphia, says NBC Sports, that hates the Eagles. This is actually a kind of funny story. So we'll just throw the tweet up here from NBC Sports. So Les Bowen says, I'm guessing A.J. Brown is processing his grief over the passing of the Queen. Because you see Brown with his hands above his head, and he was, kind of looking rough. It's the same day that Queen Elizabeth did pass away. And A.J. Brown, quote tweeted, said, 15 minutes before practice starts, I get stung by a bee, and I'm allergic. So what you see here is me trying to control my breathing after I got my EpiPen shot, LOL. There you go. So allergic to bees, like a lot of people are. My girlfriend's allergic to bees. The EpiPen does not look like a lot of fun, but of course, Philadelphia's medical staff all over that. A.J. Brown went ahead and got his EpiPen and should be good to go on that one. Speaking of A.J. Brown, how about a fun story here on the NFL.com? The NFL went ahead and all their writers and hosts gave one big bold prediction for Week 1 of the National Football League season. How about David Carr? This is Derek Carr's brother, the bad Carr quarterback. He says, A.J. Brown has a Terrell Owens-level debut with the Philadelphia Eagles. In case you forgot, the Hall of Famer hit pay dirt 3 times in his first game with Philly in 2004. You remember? On Sunday against the Lions, Brown goes for 203 touchdowns. Yeah, this trade is worth it. That's his bold prediction. 203 touchdowns. Can you imagine? To get stung by a bee. This is the definition of float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. If he has 300 or 200 yards and 2 touchdowns, whoo! That would be really, really sweet if you were able to do so. That's a lot, though. I mean, 3 touchdowns and 200 yards, that would be a massive Eagle 41-7 blowout. So that's a bold prediction, David. Let's just say that. Other news storyline here, the Detroit News has a really good write-up on Darius Slay's return to Philadelphia. And, of course, it's a fun return to Detroit, because, of course, that's where you traded him from. And it's a fun write-up showing why Slay was named a captain. Not a big vocal guy from a defensive perspective, very much a leader, but not a vocal leader. And yet Nick Sirianni all in on the vote there to get Darius Slay to be a captain. I think it'd be a big Darius Slay game coming up on Sunday, just because, old team, old building, you're familiar with it. He's going to have a big-time, I would say, opportunity to really show that he's not, going to start heading downhill due to his age, because they're playing Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's really, really good. This receiving core from Detroit, it's not bad. Like, I don't hate it. If you're a Detroit Lion fan, you like this receiving core. And so, a big play Slay, maybe a big play day tomorrow on Sunday, hoping he goes ahead and balls out back in his old buildings in front of course, his old football team. All right, before we go ahead and wrap up the Thomas Mott Show here on a Saturday, your NFL story of the day, your National League story of the day, or National Football League story of the day, is the Kayvon Thibodeaux injury for the New York Giants. Remember that kind of, was it a cheap hit? Was it not? Who knows? You would hate it if it happened to a Philadelphia Eagle player, but it's Thibodeaux. He has the knee injury. He's listed as doubtful for the season opener for the Giants as they go ahead and take on the Tennessee Titans on Sunday. He was expected to miss 3 or 4 weeks, according to Adam Schefter, due to that MCL sprain in his right knee. Tomorrow is exactly 3 weeks, you see on your screen right there, and so the odds of him going ahead and playing seems very, very slim. Also, Azeez Ojulari, the former Georgia pass rusher, is also doubtful for the Giants, as they have not won a season opener since 2016. And so, again, it's a National League story. It's one of the really big injuries that's happening on Sunday. Not a lot of other big injuries because it is Week 1, but the Giants will be without 2 of their better pass rushers for this matchup against the Titans. And as always, we don't wish for people to get injured, but we do root against other NFC East teams. So hopefully Tennessee rolls and beats up on the Giants and sends them to 0-1. And the Bucs beat the Cowboys, sends them to 0-1. And the Commanders lose as well. I don't remember who the Commanders are even playing on Sunday. Jacksonville. Go Doug Peterson to beat the Commanders. And that way Philadelphia is 1-0 and the rest are 0-1. All right, this is the last video before the first game. Can you believe that? Like, we literally are having real football to talk about on tomorrow's show. We'll do a whole wrap-up after the show, so be sure to subscribe. You might as well hit the little bell down below as well, because a lot of people subscribe on YouTube, and YouTube won't tell them that a new video is uploaded. So if you guys want to hit the notification bell, you can do that as well. Tweet me during the game. If you guys want to tweet me during the game, follow me on Twitter @RealThomasMott. A lot of you guys already do, but I'll be obviously on my phone the entire game, tweeting back and forth. So tweet me @RealThomasMott on my Twitter account. All right, final update. We'll see what happens tomorrow as they take on the Detroit Lions. Don't lose, guys. Please don't lose. They should be fine. There's your full update, news, injury notes, and everything regarding that game. And we will see you guys on Sunday. This is Thomas Mott. That's it for the Thomas Mott Show.